6 years following the coup of 1976, the new Argentine dictatorship faced increasing risks of a collapse. On March 30th, 1982, a massive public demonstration arrived at the presidential palace to reclaim power from the government. Dictator Leopoldo Fortunati Galtieri ordered the recuperation of the Malvinas Islands in an improvised operation carried out on April 2, 1982. Seized by the British Empire in 1833, the dictator aimed to hit a nerve with nationalistic sentiment in Argentina by taking back the islands. In the United Kingdom, Margaret Thatcher confronted a political legitimacy crisis after a strong public rejection of her neoliberal government. Meanwhile, in Buenos Aires, Galtieri remained under the illusion that London would not use military action. Further, the Argentine dictatorship expected Washington to abide by the Inter-American Treaty of Reciprocal Assistance, or Rio Pact. For Thatcher, it came as a perfect moment to position herself as a national leader, heading her country's conservative movement. By the end of the war, her positive image among the English had spiked, and she had earned the nickname the Iron Lady. On top of the support of U.S. President Ronald Reagan, the British also had an ally that decades later would be considered a key element in the victory: the support of Chile, then governed by dictator Augusto Pinochet. The war lasted 74 days, in which 18-year-old Argentinians with just a few months of military instruction, not properly armed and lacking food and proper clothing, confronted one of the most professional armed forces in the world and a NATO member country in the icy Malvinas. These young men were also under the order of a suppressive government, incapable of confronting a foreign enemy. In the 2.5 months of the conflict, it was the Argentine Air Force that became a real threat to the British. Half of the Argentine deaths came on May 2nd, when the cruiser General Belgrano steered towards the continent and out of the combat area, and the nuclear submarine Conqueror attacked and sank it, causing 323 deaths. One of the results of the war was the final blow to the Argentine dictatorship, which was forced to host elections in 1983. In the United Kingdom, Thatcher strengthened her political position as the indisputable leader of the Conservative Party and the country. She would stay in power until 1988. When the war concluded on June 14, 1982, the final death total came to 2 Malvinas civilians, 255 British troops, and 649 Argentinians. But the casualties continued as part of a silent tragedy. Since 1982, the trauma of the war for those heroic young Argentinians has to date led to more than 400 suicides.